2021 was a good TV year, with buzzy shows such as The White Lotus and gems like Yellow Jackets. However, it also had some serious fails. There are many shows that still had some serious duds out there. Some shows are reboots, while some are new ideas that didn't go well among critics and audiences. Welcome to BingeTv. Here are the top 10 worst TV shows of 2021. Without further ado, let's begin the video. 10th place, Call Me Kat. Call Me Kat follows a 39-year-old woman who feels pressure from her mother to marry. The series begins with numerous fourth-wall commentaries. Bialik's character reunites with former crush Max and attends a party with her older friend Phil. As Kate contemplates the future, her mother Sheila worries that her daughter will become a sad being. Overall, most critics feel that the Fox series fails with its comedic delivery and pacing. It seems like Bialik is talking to the audience as much as she talks to the other characters. For all of Bialik's myriad talents, you can feel her trying a bit too hard. 9th place, Fate, the WINX saga. The show literally tries to be another darker take on the original cartoon it is based on. Poor casting choices for the WINX, all of them looking nothing like their counterparts from the original show. The show was also accused of replacing characters. Musa doesn't have any ethnic differences, and Flora was replaced with a white girl named Tara. In the third episode, we see Tara bringing weed brownies to a party. There is quite a lot of drug usage all throughout the show. There is heavy usage of swearing. Some characters from the original series are absent, like the aforementioned Flora being replaced by Tara. Tekna and Trix is also absent, only to be replaced by a generic villain. 8th place, The Morning Show. The Apple TV Plus series features an incredible ensemble, led by Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon. But one thing is clear, that famous and pretty celebs can't keep you hooked when the purpose is this muddled, or even who we are meant to care about. The Morning Show never quite committed to taking that seriously. And in excising the character from the story, it has shown a profound unseriousness in handling its subject matter. The question of what is to be done with Mitch now never needs to be answered. The show is a complete mess. 7th place, Fear the Walking Dead. The season becomes unbearably bad. Between a complete abandonment of any and all attempts at realism, a deeply detached sense of coherency and logic, and a cast of characters that have been sapped of almost all personality, Fear the Walking Dead is now officially one of the worst shows on TV. The show went from an interesting story about a group of rugged survivors to a show bogged down in intra-community strife. Instead of scary zombies, we got the cinematography and special effects took a nosedive. The cast ballooned into unmanageable proportions. The dialogues, action, and gunfights were the worst. 6th place, Pretty Smart. The show seems like a parody of a sitcom with extremely tired character tropes: the moronic hunk, the lame smart girl, the ditzy and happy pretty girl, and the over-the-top social media star, and the hippie. There's a sense that the person is solely trying to be funny to help make a situation better because the situation calls for it. There are many other things that seem to grind viewers' gears: the fact that the characters live in a house that's well outside of their means, and that everyone punches down on one of the characters in meaningful ways. 5th place, Clarice. The show begins with Clarice Starling in a therapy session that doubles as a previously on the sequence. Clarice substitutes quick-cut flashbacks that look like bad cosplay. It's a clip reel of fan-serviced trauma. The show wants to balance weekly cases and a serialized mystery, plus an in-depth portrait of Clarice's own psyche. That bite marks match wounds on 2 other victims. At dramatic moments, Clarice hallucinates a very funny-looking computer-animated moth. Meanwhile, all the FBI agents stand around stunned. 4th place, American Horror Stories. The show is pretty mediocre and has very few stories. Every episode was borderline boring and pretty lame in certain stories due to the bad writing and horrific acting. The main character, Scarlett, played by Sienna McCormick, is totally devoid of the charisma that Tessa Farmiga and Evan Peters brought to the table in AHS. Her character is a monster, but a boring one. The episode suffers from being a little too short. When the story seems to get a bit interesting, they end and seem to be rushed. 3rd place, Alter Ego. The show is about a singing competition, but is a catastrophe. The show is legitimately a nightmare in both concept and execution. The premise of Alter Ego is a procession of singers, mocap outfits, and then performing a song behind the scenes. Meanwhile, on the studio floor, their movements are recreated in real time by a computer-generated avatar. If you've ever wanted to see a dark and powerful ballad sung by a pink fairy, then Alter Ego is the show for you. These avatars are terribly ugly, and it's hard to accurately describe how inept these avatars are. They have a blank face and are made of wood. Their mouths have a depressingly limited range of motion. They look more like they belong in a criminal taxidermy museum. Second place, Tiger King 2. Netflix's Tiger King Season 2 repeats the same mistake that they made in the first season of making a murderer. Tiger King Season 2 was hustled to release, which created significant issues in the season. The series is filled with speculation and dramatizations intended to exonerate Avery in the eyes of the public. Little to nothing is resolved in the show, including the new stories. New information comes at the very end, where it leaves viewers on a rather dramatic cliffhanger. As a result, the season feels incomplete, and its entertainment of speculative theories significantly detracts from its narrative as a whole. Before we get to the top spot on our list, here's a look at some honorable mentions.
They search for a special connection
of love.
90 years, and what do we have to show for it?
We've made a difference, Shell.
I knew this was going to be life-threatening. I would have just gone to the library. I was expecting Peter.
He asked me to let you know about an urgent situation.
First place, The One. A story where a company, Match DNA, pairs people with their soulmates based on their DNA samples. The CEO of the company, Rebecca, is very ambitious and means well with this new way of dating, yet things begin to spiral. The plot seems well, but when it came on screen, it didn't do what it was supposed to. The show is struggling to do many things at the same time, which has become the reason for its failure. There's a lot of murder mystery element, which has gone wrong in many ways. The performances are very poor, and the characters are confusing. You never really understand what is going on in the show. So what are your thoughts on these shows? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're at it, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one. From all of us at BingeTV, thank you, and we'll see you next time for more.